Hello and welcome to the final In the North podcast, brought to you by Basketball Queensland. I'm Briana Goodchild, and this is the lovely, the handsome John Guarna.
I wouldn't call myself lovely, but thank you for that, Briana.
He'd call himself handsome is what he's saying.
Yeah, definitely, for sure, of course. Hey, can you believe it? The last episode that we're going to be recording for the year, and what a way to go out. Yeah. 2 amazing grand final series. We did get to finally announce and see who those inaugural champions are going to be, and if you don't know, you're about to find out.
That's right. Spoiler alert. Make sure you go on the website, stop this now and check it out if you don't. But we're assuming you have. And look, congratulations to Logan Thunder women who gave it everything to claw to victory over the weekend. It was amazing. They did it in 2 games. They started really strong in that first quarter of the first game, and that's really what set them up to take out just by a narrow 4 points the win in the first one, and then they were able to follow it up in the second, even at times when it looked like they were starting to lose it. They stuck in it and they clawed their way through to the very end. So I couldn't be prouder.
Yeah, congratulations to the Logan Thunder. And, I said to Coach Brayden Hasselhoff, I'm happy that he proved me wrong. We both tipped Spartans.
Exactly.
And, I'm happy to be proven wrong. But one thing that we were definitely right about was that it was going to be an amazing series. And it was 2 great games of basketball. Everyone that I spoke to that was in attendance in those 2 days said it was some of the best games of basketball that they've seen in their lives. I know, from when you look at the scores, you think it wasn't pretty basketball, but it was intense from tip to finish, and just that's what you want. The atmosphere was great. Both teams really gave it their all from the opening tip to the very end of each game, and the winner was deserved. You can't put a knock on Logan Thunder. It's been an amazing season. It's been a long time coming for that group too. This is something that they've been aspiring to for a couple years now. They got a little taste of it in last year's QSL. Now that they came into the NBL1 North competition, they righted the ship. They've picked up what they learned in the loss to Spartans earlier this year, and they turned things around, and they're your inaugural women's Coles Express NBL1 North champions. Congratulations to the Logan Thunder. But Briana, you were there. Tell me about the experience to not only call the game, but be in the stadium and to be part of this amazing grand final series.
Look, it really was amazing. It was so exciting because, of course, they were taking on the Southern District Spartans, who hadn't lost all season, and that was just such a great feat in its own. And so we had 2, major teams going head-to-head. The 2 we, had gloated about all season, and really excited to see them come down in this final series. But yeah, the atmosphere was electric. I mean, on the commentary bench was myself, Regan Baker, and Dave Derwin, and it was nice to have a bit of a 3-head for the commentary, which made it very exciting. But we were losing our minds, I'm not going to lie. Those games, like you said, look, I wouldn't call them pretty either. I would call them a battle. It was a war zone out there, that had a little bit of everything. So there was drama, there was emotions flying, there was so many tech fouls in that second game. I mean, it was wild. And so many offensive fouls. I think we were saying on the commentary bench the most we've ever seen in games. So it definitely had something of its own, but it was still, even though it was not pretty, it was still good basketball because it was just so exciting. So I think there was no denying it was a grand final, playoff series, because just what the players gave out there and how hard everyone fought, and it didn't come easy. Nothing came easy, except maybe Michaela Can on the first night. She had a good night that first night. But everyone fought to really get to where they landed, and it was Logan who had it in them. And I really love that underdog narrative because they really did learn from the first time they played Spartans. And that's what I love to see when they hit that court. They knew what they had to do. And if anything, they caught the Spartans a little off guard, because the Spartans sort of came in just thinking, look, we'll just do what we did all season. And I mean, why wouldn't they? It had worked for them. But Logan, I think, had to try that a little bit harder. And in having to do that, I think that actually helped them, because they sort of went in maybe more hungry for it.
Yeah, and the physicality of the series is what I continually hear from people that were there for the 2 games, and from what I saw watching the games back, the physicality of it. You got to give a lot of credit to the referees as well for allowing them to play, but keeping things under control. And congratulations to Logan. Spartans were undefeated. They took their first 2 losses in the grand final series, so unfortunate for them, but congratulations to the Logan Thunder. You mentioned Michaela Can. She was the MVP of the series. talk to us about that performance, because she had an awesome 2 games, particularly in that first game, but she really got her team over the line in that game too as well.
Yeah, Michaela Can, thank you for what you brought this season. You were incredible throughout it, and what we love about you as a player is just how much you're able to facilitate for your team, you know, in the backcourt, but also, facilitating and scoring yourself. So just a great all-round player who really had that maturity. Obviously, she was the captain as well. And that was great to see on that court. Really did captain the team, especially in that first game. And she got 27 points, by far the highest point scorer in that opening game. And then the second one, she didn't score in the first quarter. It took her a while to get onto the score sheet, but then was crucial in helping her team claw back. So that's why Michaela Can was named MVP of the Grand Final Series, and I actually had a little interview with her at the end, so you can check it out now.
Hello, I'm Briana Goodchild, and I'm with the MVP of the Grand Final Series. Sorry, I should say the inaugural Coles Express NBL1 North Grand Final Series. Michaela Can, big win tonight. How does it feel?
Amazing. Honestly, I would not rather be on the court with anyone else. I'm so proud of not only our team, but what our club's achieved. And yeah, honestly, I'm lost for words.
And during the presentation, I heard you yell something out, something like no one doesn't like the Thunder fam. Can you tell me a little bit?
For anyone who doesn't know Logan, the Thunder family is who we are. Yeah, that's the culture of what we do. And that shows up in numbers in games like this. You know, our club is our family, and it's the only place we want to be. We have the best fans in the league, and we wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Thank you everyone who showed up.
Yeah, we've got another one contesting for the mic. He might beat you to it. But look, such a big game. It came down to literally the final moments, and it was just those clutch plays. What was the takeaway from this game? How did you win it?
Being ourselves. I think I said it yesterday. I think the one thing that we did unbelievably was just be ourselves, be the best version of ourselves and for each other. Yeah, we play for each other, we win the championship.
That's it, and never give up, clawing to those final moments. So what can we expect with next season?
Hopefully the same, another championship.
Yeah, heard it here first from Michaela Can, match MVP, and thank you so much for all you brought this season.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Yeah, so that was me. You can see we were both pumped up after that interview. It was very exciting, and you know, she was just so proud of her club. So great to see that. And of course, I spoke to Braden Hasselhoff, the coach, as well, and he had some great notes to say.
And now I've got the head coach of all the Magic. It is Braden Hasselhoff. Braden, how does it feel?
It feels amazing, to be honest. To wrap it up in 2 against such a good team in Spartans, and then the way we did it. We talk about our Thunder family culture, and if there's ever a win that shows that the most, it was that. You know, the calls weren't going our way, and that's the way it falls sometimes. We had our starting big, who's one of the best players in the league, foul out, and the way these girls just stuck with it and were able to come through with the big plays when it mattered. I wouldn't want it any other way to finish on that type of note, so huge effort, and it feels amazing.
Definitely, and look, you did it coming in as the underdogs. Tell me about that. What were you focusing on?
We knew we could win. There's one thing this group has. It's belief in ourselves, and we knew last time we played them during the regular season we didn't play up to our capabilities. Just competitiveness-wise, we thought we were timid and everything. So that was a massive reminder. And I think the lead up against Townsville in the semi-final was kind of a perfect preparation as far as we needed to play tough, we needed to play physical, and that prepared us for Spartans. And we knew if we stuck to our plan, we could get it done, and the girls did that for 80 minutes.
Now tell me, it wasn't the prettiest of games. You had to really claw through to the final moments. Was there any point where you were ripping your hair out, or did you have faith the whole time?
No, one thing we talk about is fighting through adversity, and you know, all our timeouts, that's what we reminded the girls about. And obviously today there was a bit more adversity than any other game, but we're able to get through it. And you know, at no stage were we frantic or panicking about where we were at. We thought every time they got up by a certain amount, we were able to battle our way back and get in the game. So we always had confidence in ourselves.
And so you should have. Congratulations. You are the inaugural winners of the Coles Express NBL1 North Series.
Can I just say something real quick? If anything shows there should be a South East Queensland WNBL team, it's how well these two teams play against each other. So we need one ASAP. We do.
Listen out. Make sure you come and make this a reality, because there's so much talent here, and women's basketball, a league of its own.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, and congratulations.
There you go. Congrats again to Logan Thunder, who are our inaugural NBL1 North champions for the women. So exciting. But John, you weren't in Brisbane. Tell us.
No, I got to go up to Mackay for the grand final series between the Meteors and the Cairns Marlins, and let me tell you, this was a great, great series. It could have really gone either way, either of those games. It really felt, particularly across that first game, that Cairns was in a lot of control and was going to come away with that first win. They had a couple unsportsmanlike conduct fouls that really turned the momentum and allowed Mackay to overcome the deficit that they had and pull off the win in that game one. And then game two was a really back and forth affair. Cairns had the lead. It felt like they were going to take over and we were going to go to a game three, but Mackay, to their credit, really stuck with the game plan. They were able to come through in clutch moments. Cairns, they were great. They were really excellent. I don't want to take away anything from the Cairns Marlins, but this Mackay group really proved that they are a great team. Different players stepped up in different moments. Jerron Jamerson was named the MVP of the series, and rightfully so. He was probably the most consistent player for Mackay across the two games, but players like Sean Baker, Chris Cedar, Manny Malu, Vili Fekete, the entire team really stepped in and stepped up at different moments to bring Mackay the inaugural Coles Express NBL1 North Championship. It was a really, truly a team effort. In game one, Manny Malu got into a bit of foul trouble. Coach Kahlu had to go to his bench, and the bench really stepped up in big moments, particularly on the defensive side of things. You got to give a lot of credit to Baker. He really gave Alex Loughton a bit of trouble because Alex had a great series. He and Deborah George were amazing for Cairns. And Anthony Fisher rebounded after a tough game one and had an awesome game two. And Jimmy Mitchell stepped up in moments. And Kurt Awang and that Cairns group, it's hard not to think what could have been for that Cairns group if they had a couple of their Taipans players. Even maybe just one might have made the difference. But saying that, Cairns had every opportunity to win either game. It could have gone either way, which was what made the series the great series that it was. We got treated to extra basketball in the second game. We got a bit of overtime, a couple extra minutes, and there was not a lot in it. It was only a 3-point game. At the end, the teams went back and forth, but I'll tell you what, that Mackay crowd was amazing. That crater was absolutely rocking.
The crater was going off?
It was rocking. It really was, and I could barely hear myself. I had Rob Grieve with me on the commentary, and we had the headsets on, and we're sitting amongst the crowd, and even with the headsets on and the volume turned all the way up, it was really, really difficult for us to hear ourselves. So I can't imagine what it was like for the guys on the court. It was an amazing grand final series. I think Jerron Jamerson was a deserved MVP. He was great in the series. But after the championship game was decided, I had a chance to talk to Mackay Meteors captain Chris Cedar. Here's what he had to say.
All right, I've got championship winning captain Chris Cedar. Chris, you and your Mackay teammates are the inaugural Coles Express NBL1 North champions. How's it feel? I know it's a couple minutes now since the final.
Yeah, it's still sinking in like that. Third, fourth quarter for us wasn't great. We dug ourselves a big hole, but this is where people step up. Kai Medhurst did that for us, and yeah, we're the ones that ended up winning at the end. I'm just in shock still.
You talk about Kai Medhurst. I asked Joel about Vili Fekete. How great was he to start the game? He really kept you guys in it in that early going.
Billy made it hard for Deborah every time he caught the ball. Then he had the assignment of Alex Loughton tonight. So he's been our defender all year. So for him coming out and giving us that offensive power as well, that's just massive. Especially, I didn't have the greatest shooting game. Billy just coming in and he saved my ass too, big time.
And now talk a little bit about Jerron Jamerson. He was named the MVP of the series. He got you guys some great big buckets in that game one, and he also stepped up in some key moments here in game two.
Yeah, Jerron's he's an athlete. And Cairns couldn't stop him when he got his head on the hoop. He's 6'4", athletic, long arms. That's what you want in a basketballer. And he just came out this weekend to prove a point that he should be on a championship team, and yeah, he finally got that.
Well, he's a championship winner, Chris. This is got to be number 4 or number 5 for you.
No, I mean number 3.
Well, Joel gave me false information then, but you're winning a championship. I know you've been doing it for a long time. Any thoughts if you'll continue to play?
I've always got that burn to play basketball. That's something that I've always had being a kid. I've always wanted to play at this stage, growing up in Townsville, watching all the local heroes there. So it's not my time yet. I know I can still produce on this floor, so you'll see me around in 2022.
Well, I always love seeing you out on the court. I know these Mackay fans there. You've been swamped. I'm sure there's a million other people here that want to take pictures with you. So enjoy the moment. Congratulations on another championship.
All right, thank you.
That's Chris Cedar, captain of the championship-winning Mackay Meteors, guys.
Well, that was the Mackay captain, Chris Cedar. I also had a chance to talk to championship-winning head coach Joe Kahlu, and here's what he had to say at the end of that championship-winning Game 2.
All right, I'm here with the inaugural Coles Express NBL1 North Men's Championship winning head coach Joe Kahlu. How's that sound?
Yeah, it's pretty special, Johnny. Bit surreal at the moment. Hasn't really sunk in. It's still, what a game, man! What a game! Like unbelievable high level basketball. Could have went either way. I'm just really proud of my group. Really proud of how we battled through, and here we are, champions. How much extra does it feel, and how much extra special is it to do it in front of the home fans? Yeah, it's massive. I mean, our fans have come out all year long. You know, we know we got the most passionate crowd in the league. You know, these people go through, you know, thick and thin with us. The way they get after and support our teams, men and women, is unbelievable. And so we said in the presentations, you know, this is as much as theirs as it is ours. You know, we're one big family club here. And, you know, to have them be able to see it and now celebrate with us is really special. You had a lot of guys step up big time. Billy Fichetti was amazing at the start of the game, but talk to me about him, but also we got to talk a little bit about Kai Medhurst. Yeah, look, Billy for a start. I mean, we threw on Alex, you know, we made some adjustments defensively. Man, I mean, I hope some NBL clubs are watching because the way that he can defend like that, multiple positions, you know, I think he could probably play at that level. Like, he's still got a way to go, but, you know, he's definitely NBL talent. So the way he just fills his role and does his job's unbelievable. Kai Medhurst tonight, I mean, that's a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old kid, you know, that has played sporadic minutes throughout the season, but to make those shots in the big moments the way he did, you know, I think it's going to put him on a bit of a trajectory here that with us within our club that, you know, he's no longer just a guy that you kind of, he's a legitimate role player for us, you know, like he's going to be good in the future. And I got to ask one last thing. Doing it here in the home crowd, Chris Cedar and Brad Rasmussen. I didn't get to ask Chris because I didn't want to ask him. You think we're going to see those guys again, or you think they're going to go out on top? Look, I think there's a bit of time. I think it needs to be set in, and you know we'll have those conversations. You know, it wasn't a smooth year. It was up and down. You know, for older guys, it's mentally challenging. Are we playing? Are we not? You know, coming to practice and committing, and so you know, for both of them to do what they did and be a part of this, you know, I think that's number, I don't know what it is for Chris, maybe 4 or 5, and Rassi's probably whatever he's got. So, yeah, look, 2 special guys. They're part of the fabric here at the club, and hopefully we see him for a few more years yet. I hope so, too. It was a great performance, a great couple of games, Joel. I know you're a man in demand here tonight, but congratulations, brother, on a championship. Appreciate it, mate. Thanks, guys. That was Mackay head coach Joe Kahlu, and you heard him mention it, but I got to give a big shout out to Kai Medhurst as well, a young local guy from Mackay, stepping up in big moments. He's someone to keep an eye on for this Mackay group, and I was speaking to the players and coaches afterwards, and I imagine it would have been a similar conversation you're having with that Logan Thunder group, but these guys are really excited, and they were ready to celebrate, but they were already talking about maybe making it back-to-back in 2022. So I love that approach. I love already, you know, enjoying the moment, celebrating, but already planning ahead. So congratulations to both the Logan Thunder women and the Mackay Meteors, your inaugural Coles Express NBL1 North champions. Oh, so good. I mean, call it step up 6 or whatever number we're up to, because I think that was a theme for this whole grand final series, stepping up to the plate. And I think, you know, both of our champions did that. But man, I was following along, you know, with the action out of town, online, seeing that first game go into overtime was crazy. And it really was anyone's game. It was so close all the way through. And of course, I had vested interest because that was the one tip we differed on for this round. And look, we're still in this tipping contest, which let's finally end it. So we both tipped Spartans. No one gets a point for that. John tipped Mackay. I tipped Cairns. Now look, Mackay have been one of my favourite teams all season because
they're consistent. They've actually been so consistent throughout the season, really nestling themselves into that second rank for most of it. And, you know, they had Harry come in, and that was a great way to just sort of really bolster out the team when we had all our NBL stars in. There was a bit of talk that, you know, when he left, how would they do? But they did fantastically regardless. And Cairns, they were the underdogs who really sort of, you know, were always there, but really fired up towards the end of the season when it counted, and they had a bit of momentum going in. So, you know, I sort of decided to make things interesting, go with Cairns just to see if I could one-up you.
You had pity on me. You didn't want to take me out, so thank you for your kindness, Briana. But the tipping, you know, I think...
There we go.
Where did we end up? Tell everyone.
So where we ended up with a dead even tie. How's that for competition? So John Guarna, good game.
We'll have to carry this into 2022 because you know what? I want to bring home the tipping championship.
It's mine. But let's talk about next season, John.
Next season already? We just finished up 2021. We want to look ahead to 2022. All right, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Bit of news for 2022. There's going to be another team entering the NBL1 North competition. It's the North Gold Coast Seahawks, and right now we're joined by General Manager Dwayne Vale. Dwayne, congratulations. Tell us a little bit about the decision for the association to step into the NBL1 North competition in 2022.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Yeah, look, it was obviously pretty big decision for us. We, you know, the association had been in QBL for a couple of years when that was in play, and you know, didn't find too much success, and obviously removed ourselves for the last couple of years. But look, from the association and from the board, we're all very excited that, you know, we're a part of the top tier competition. Obviously, it's a fantastic competition from, you know, it's gone strength to strength. You know, in the last couple of years, and obviously with the NBL jumping on board is huge as well. So, look, we're extremely excited. You know, it completes our pathway for our juniors, which is really exciting for those guys. So, you know, I mentioned before that we want to get the fruits of their labour, you know, from, you know, what we do in juniors. We want them to have a program they can transition through to once they turn into seniors. So, look, yeah, from an association standpoint, extremely exciting, you know, extremely exciting for our current sponsors and hopefully future sponsors. You know, now it's on a national scale, and just the overall buzz for the association is pretty exciting. So
that's so good to hear. And obviously there's a lot of work that would go on behind the scenes. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, look, there's been a fair bit going on. Again, like last couple of years has been a bit tough for the club. You know, I've been in the role for a couple of years now, and we've been pretty lucky to get our hands on some really good people. You know, our director of coaching, Briana Can, has been an absolute blessing for our basketball side of things, and just the work we've done to do in the background with, you know, our staff structure and our coaching and just some layers of development that we've tried to place in. So, look, it's been a big couple of years, like very, very great for the sponsors that have been on board with us. You know, we doubled our sponsorship portfolio this year, which was huge. And the fact that we're, you know, in a second tier competition, you know, says a lot for, you know, a lot of our member base in our area that, you know, are really excited about basketball. So yeah, like a lot of work, you know, still a lot ahead when it comes to, you know, we still need to, you know, get ourselves, you know, on, you know, our hands on some more sponsors, and then the fun stuff around recruiting players and coaches and all the good stuff. So still lots of work to do, but, you know, definitely an exciting time to be part of the Seahawks.
You talked a little bit about the players. You guys have had a dominant QSL season. What are the players feeling like after this announcement, after having that dominant QSL season and knowing that they may have an opportunity to compete in the NBL1 North next year?
Yeah, pretty excited. Looked at the timing, everything was beautiful. So we obviously the release come out Friday. We had an end of season presentation on Friday night. So the buzz around the joint from the sponsors and the players and the coaches was, you know, extremely positive. You know, I think there might have been a bit of recruitment going on that night after a few beers and signing some contracts. But look, everyone, the girls obviously had a fantastic season going 14-0 and, you know, were pretty dominant the whole year. For the men, again, like they were unlucky in the final, but I thought, you know, what they were able to do throughout the season was incredible. So, you know, we'll definitely be looking to, you know, keep a lot of those core groups together, but then obviously add in the pieces around them to, you know, just make our program successful.
And do you have anyone in particular you're looking to recruit? Come on, give us the inside scoop. I know it's early days, but come on. You said conversations were happening. Let us know who and what. Come on.
Look, I don't want to reveal anything too early at all because I don't want to, release it. But look, we're going to have a heavy focus on our locals. And, we've obviously got some successful locals competing in NBL and WNBL right now. So, look, that'd be obviously a lovely goal of ours. We want to be able to show our kids that, you can come through our junior pathway and succeed at that next level, whether it be college or NBL, WNBL. But we know we've got some gaps on either side when it comes to maybe, some bigs. But, yeah, look, if I'm really honest, the fact that it was only really made official last week, I haven't gotten too far ahead. I do have a wish list, but obviously got to go through the process with it all.
What about Seahawks fans hoping to see Dwayne Vale back on the court? Are you making a comeback?
Oh, that'd be awful for those supporters if they had to sit through that, and I couldn't charge anybody at the door to ever come in and watch that. So that's a firm no.
Be hard on yourself.
Yeah, firm no.
So again, obviously the association, the players, there's that buzz, that excitement. What are the next steps for you now? And who, do you plan on taking that QSL group and just building on top of that? Will we see that core QSL group for women and men in NBL1 North?
Look, definitely. Like, the women are obviously really successful. So I think they're pretty close to transitioning as it is. Again, we probably need to add some key pieces there, but I think that group, the way they, collaborated this year and stuck together, I'm pretty confident around what they can do. Even some of the men, like it was, our men's squad, we had a couple of vets in Dave Gurney and Reese Martin that, were at the, pointy end. And then we have some really young guys too, and a Marco Doyle and Mackenzie Hall that are both 16 years old that are showing so much promise. Again, there's a few guys there. Again, we're probably just going through our end of season, exit interviews with those guys to really, get an understanding from the athletes to go, what they liked about the program, what they'd like to see changed. Because at the end of the day, we want to see growth, and the growth's going to come from the athletes and their input, and from the coaches and their input, and then obviously from our experiences as well. So we want to make sure we go into that season best foot forward, make sure we got the best program accessible, and hopefully that alone says to players like it's a professional program to come into.
And just one final question from me. What does success look like for the North Gold Coast Seahawks for the NBL1 North season in 2022?
I saw those shiny trophies on the weekend. I wouldn't mind a couple of those.
Yeah, we've got one here. Keep your eye on it.
That says success to me. Look, that obviously from my point of view, particularly going into NBL1, I wasn't willing to kind of trip and fall into it. Like, I wanted to make sure that if we do go into it, we have the squads to go compete. So, a final berth would be, massive success. I think first year into the league. I'm probably cocky and arrogant enough to think that we can make championships every year, but whether that's actually realistic or not is to be said. But look, I think if we definitely make finals first year, I think that's success. But there's also going to be success around showing these younger athletes what it takes to go to that next level, to make sure they're working on their bodies, getting their game right, and getting those guys in those kind of routines. So that there's a lot more to it. But for me, if we got a finals appearance the first year, I'd be very, very happy.
Oh, I think you'd have to be. I mean, it's stiff competition in the Coles Express NBL1 North, and that's what we've enjoyed so much this year. But I mean, this year it was the Northside Wizards and Red City Raw that were new to it. So if you've been watching them, did you pick up any tips from their, first seasons in the league?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, both organisations pulling a hell of a game night. Red City with that beautiful facility they got out there, and then obviously Northside with their brand new facility. So definitely, obviously the approach from the NBL is that it's a spectacle and a show first and foremost, and it's like a game breaks out in the middle of it. So if we can provide that to our fans and to our members, and again hopefully put some really good squads on the floor, I think that goes a long way throughout the season.
Well, Dwayne, we're really excited to have the North Gold Coast Seahawks in the NBL1 North competition for 2022. We thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we can't wait to see you guys on the court in the NBL1 North next year.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Wow, okay. Can't believe we're already talking 2022. How does it feel, John?
It's crazy to believe that we're already talking about next season. The season only just wrapped up. What an amazing season it was, though.
Yeah.
I already can't wait for 2022.
I know, it's coming in and it's coming in hot like always. You know, NBL1, it's an exciting competition. It definitely did not disappoint in this inaugural season. And I tell you what, it's been an absolute pleasure to be doing this with you, John Guarna, for Basketball Queensland, for the NBL1. It's been so exciting.
It's been awesome. It's been great to work with you, Briana. It's been great to be a part of this inaugural NBL1 North season. We had 2 awesome grand finals between the Logan Thunder and Southern District Spartans and the Mackay Meteors and the Cairns Marlins. So really can't wait to see what happens in 2022.
Yeah, and thank you so much to everyone who's been watching and following along the journey, watching all the games. You know, your support is really what makes this all possible. So thanks again and shout out to you guys. But, John Guarna, I think that's it from us.
Tears are rolling down my eyes. I'm holding them in as best as I can. What am I going to do with my life now?
Yeah, weekends, nights. What are we going to do with ourselves?
Well, we'll look forward to 2022. Thank you also to all of the guests that we've had on the podcast. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to Bree, who's on the camera here tonight and has been producing this podcast for us all season long as well, and Basketball Queensland for having us. We can't wait to see you guys in 2022.
Yeah.
Bye for now. See you guys.